Cincinnati is where it's at, the skyline over the Ohio. And more than 50,000 fans converge in a breathtaking baseball plant, Riverfront Stadium. The circular park, symmetrical in design, is only 3 months old. Hawkers carry the message of the Big Red Machine. It's the series everybody wanted. The new Red Menace in the National League and Baltimore's runaway Orioles. Inside the stadium, a floor of artificial turf, wall to wall, the first series ever played on synthetic grass. The cleanup hitters, Johnny Bench and Boog Powell, the two most valuable players of 1970. National League President Chub Feeney joins his predecessor, Warren Giles, in the stands. Jim Palmer, one of Baltimore's 320 game winners, is tapped for the opener. And the Reds' Bobby Tolan, a hero in the playoffs, fires a first shot, a crisp double to right center. The rock-ribbed figure of Johnny Bench. Tolan on third, 2 out, and Bench comes through in his first World Series swing. Tolan scores. Cincinnati goes for more. Lee May wraps another single to left. May, one of the less glorified thumpers in that Big Red Machine. And Bench pauses at second. Now the only rookie in either lineup, Bernie Carbo. And you're seeing the start of the Brooks-Robinson story. The inning is over. The Reds on top by 1. 2 innings later, the Reds open it up. Palmer seems to be laboring. Now he walks Tolan, the Major League's leading base stealer. Tolan stretches his lead, and now he takes off. Ellie Hendricks' haste is costly. Tolan makes his slide just the same, stolen base. With 2 down, Lee May comes up for a second time. And he tags the 2-strike pitch. The ball clears the yellow marker of the inner home run fence. Tolan scores again, and Lee May chases him around.
Attaboy, Lee! Way to go, buddy!
The big bopper from Birmingham, Alabama. Cincinnati's Gary Nolan takes a 3-run lead into the 4th when the biggest bird of them all answers back.
He's a man-mountain bean, that guy. He do scare you. That ball is out of here, boys. Forget it. Forget it.
A 2-run homer. Boog Powell's been doing it all year with consistency. One swing of the bat, and the Orioles are back in the ball game. They trail by 1, 3-2. Now the Baltimore 5th. Ellie Hendricks leads off. First pitch by Nolan, and another blast. This one sailing into the shadows of the right field stand. It's all tied up, and the American Leaguers are getting their own message across. As a run-making machine, they matched the Reds. In fact, over the full season, they were 17 runs better. And to borrow Casey Stengel's favorite expression, you can look it up. It's still 3-3. Lee May leading off the 6th. And a spectacular stop and throw by Brooks Robinson gets him. Or does it? From ground level this time, the ball clearly beats the runner. It only seemed he didn't have a chance. Carbo follows that play with a walk, and now Helms hits one off his fist for a single. Carbo's on third, and what does Coach Alex Grammas tell him?
You got 1 away now. Your best arm's in center field out there. I'll help you on
Pinch hitter is
fly ball.
Ty Klein.
Ball right back to the pitcher. You got to go. If he gets you cold, try to hang up, okay?
Now, fasten your seat belts. We're heading right for the eye of the storm.
There's no way possible he ever tagged you. No way. Get out of there. Get out of there. You were right here, and he knocked you over and went around. There's no way possible, Kenny. There's no way you can even see the play.
Danny, I said he tagged him.
How could you see if he tagged him, Kenny, when you were knocked out? Huh? Tell you, no. Timmy, you were knocked down. How can you call him out? I said he tagged him. Eddie, that's it. The pictures won't show that. I promise you that.
Let's play it again. The picture clearly proves. Number 1, the ball is in the wrong hand. Number 2, the umpire's out of position. And number 3, the runner missed the plate. So the Orioles come out of it still tied, and Brooks Robinson now does it with his bat. A game breaker in the top of the 7th. For Robinson, his first hit of the series, and coupled with his brilliance in the field, it makes him the first-day hero. In the 9th, Palmer walks Pete Rose after getting his first 2 strikeouts of the game. Despite the struggle of the early innings, he's done well. But the manager wants a fresh arm, and Palmer leads. Pete Rickard faces Bobby Tolan. 1 pitch, and Bobby's soft liner is taken by Mark Belanger for the final out. The Orioles, who set a league record by winning 41-run games, do it again in the World Series opening. It's 24 hours after the fact, and every witness knows that three's the crowd when they're all tangled up at home plate. Bernie Carbo, Ellie Hendricks, and umpire Ken Burkhart. Each man takes the stand. First, Carbo.
It's about 5-10 feet before I got to home plate. I had to slow up about 2 steps and go around the umpire. The umpire was blocking home plate. So when I started to slide, I kind of pushed the umpire and hit his back leg, and I slid past him. When I hit the umpire, he turned around. I don't think he saw the plate. I knew I missed home plate, but the umpire already called me out, so I couldn't go back and touch home plate. And then actually, when I was arguing, I was jumping on home plate.
So I was very much surprised to see him coming in. Knowing the ball was just hit right in front of the plate, I know I had him if the umpire hadn't been in the way. I think the umpire was in perfect position. He had to make a fair call. Somebody had to make it, and I think he was the only one that could have made it at the time.
Klein was the hitter, and he bounced the ball high in the air, and I had to position myself to call the ball fair or foul. The ball was only fair about 4 inches. I didn't realize that the runner would come home on a play this short from home plate. Palmer must have hollered at the Hendricks, the catcher, that he was coming, and I did the best I knew how on calling the play because my position was bad, but I was caught unexpected, and that's the way it happened, and that's the only thing I could do.
Left-hander Mike Cuellar opposes the Reds in Game 2. And Pete Rose is safe on an error by Mark Belanger. Tolan bounces one slowly to the human vacuum, and Robinson's peg beats the takeout slide of Pete Rose at second. Now Tony Perez slaps a single to center, and it would be amazingly his only hit of the series. And the Reds once again mass their muscle for a first-inning charge. Lee May comes up with 2 outs. The slugger that Jim Palmer calls the quickest bat this side of the Mississippi. And he promptly doubles to left center. Two-run score as May steams in the third on the throw to the plate. Cincinnati fans remember last year, hopefully. Baltimore won the opener, then lost 4 straight to the Mets. Will Hal McRae burst the Baltimore bubble? It's a safety squeeze. And Cuellar's shovel throw home is off the line. Cincinnati leads 3-0. Now the Cincinnati third, and Bobby Tolan.
Come on, Bobby. Get out of here. Get out of this son of a...
And the Reds are up by 4. Tolan came to Cincinnati a year ago from St. Louis, where there is a Lou Brock. And Bobby's speed, his power, is reminiscent of Brock's World Series style. When Cuellar walks bench, the game's biggest winner over the last 2 years takes a walk himself. The heat is still on with Lee May up. May challenges Robinson once again, spinning him around, but Brooks stays with it, and the wheels are in motion for a textbook double play. Again, the Orioles wait 3 innings before unloading. Boog Powell sails his second home run of the series into the outer reaches of center field. And now it's Cincinnati 4, Baltimore 1. The 5th is Baltimore's big inning. Chico Simone leads off first after a pinch single. Jim McLaughlin, acquired in a trade with the California Angels, seeks to recapture his rhythm.
Number 9, left fielder Don Buford.
But Don Buford follows with another single to right. Paul Blair bounces a hit past Perez. Simone scores on the play, and manager Sparky Anderson has to come to the mound.
Go ahead, Mac. He just didn't have good stuff, did he? Every ball they hit, slow. Low. Simone hit the ball low.
That's what he is, though. I tried to go down on the first pitch.
Dead low ball hitter. First and second, one out. First and second, one out.
The new Cincinnati pitcher is 20-year-old Milt Wilcox, and Powell welcomes him aboard. Boog's single scores Buford ahead of McRae's throw, and the gap is closing fast. After Frank Robinson flies deep, it's Brooks again. And he pushes this hit to right, tying it up. Wilcox faces Hendricks. Powell on second is off with a pitch, and Hendricks hits it off the end of the bat. Powell scores on the double. So does Brooks Robinson. It's a big 5-run inning. The Orioles now ahead 6-4. In the Cincinnati 6th, Johnny Bench gets in one more lick for the Big Red Machine. A home run off veteran Mo Grabowski, and Baltimore leads by 1. One inning later, Baltimore manager Earl Weaver plays the percentages. The left-handed Marcelino Lopez gets Bobby Tolan on a foul pop with 2 on. Now Weaver comes in with 40-year-old Dick Hall. And Hall closes out the inning as Perez bounces softly to Brooks Robinson for the force out. Dick Hall, the lankiest, most scholarly pitcher on the Orioles, retires 7 Reds he faces. The last one, Jim Stewart, on a drive hauled in by Paul Blair. And Brooks Robinson's victory salute tells it all. Once more, it's Baltimore by a run as they head home. The Baltimore Oriole is orange and black, and the Big Red Machine is black and blue. The Reds know that no team has ever lost the first 2 World Series games at home and then won the series. Cincinnati's Bob Howson still hopes for better things. And Brooks Robinson reviews the 2 big plays on Lee May.
The first play, I just tried to get rid of the ball and throw it in the general direction of the first base, and I guess I've thrown over there so many times, well, it just kind of comes natural, and I didn't have time to stop and plant my feet and throw. I just had to get rid of it, and fortunately, I was able to get him. The other play that Lee May hit, well, the ball bounced up where I could get my hands on it. It hit a lot harder than the one the day before. I was spinning around. It was much easier to go on around and throw to second base, and we got a double play out of it.
Baltimore starter Dave McNally is reached for a hit by leadoff man Pete Rose, a born fighter. And now Bobby Tolan lays one down. His bunt refuses to roll foul. and Brooks Robinson can only watch. Dave McNally hoping to choke off another quick charge by the Reds. And here comes the ubiquitous Brooks Robinson. Slowed down, you can see Robinson go to third. 4 strides instead of playing it around the horn. And he's got the double play with something to spare.
Number 5, Johnny Bench.
And another baseball finds a magnetic glove. Tony Cloninger tries where others have failed. And Frank Robinson, nothing for 9 in 2 games, breaks out of it. Don Buford, who walked, wheels into third. After Paul Blair walks on a full count to load the bases, it's Brooks Robinson's turn. And he slams a double down the left center field alley. For once, the Orioles get on the board first. Down by 2, Cal McRae singles and then leads off first. Tommy Helms tops one to third. And Brooks Robinson makes the only possible play. McRae's at second. McNally working on the third out. Rookie shortstop Dave Concepcion, in his first start of the series, goes to the opposite field. The throw by Frank Robinson skips by catcher Andy Etchebarren, and the Reds have their first run. Whenever the Reds threaten, some Oriole glove puts a clinker in the machine. This time, the glove belongs to Dave Johnson on this third-inning shot by Pete Rose. Baltimore's lead is restored to 2 when Frank Robinson tees off to straightaway center. Just like a 3 wood in a trap. But only the Reds feel trapped. This is Frank Robinson's 3rd World Series since the Reds traded him away 5 years ago. After Blair singled, the Birds try running on Johnny Bench. Again in the 4th, and this time it's Dave Johnson. The throw is high, but not high enough. Unable to run on Bench, the Birds go back to playing long ball. Don Buford, the leadoff man. And it is gone, and a 4-1 lead for Baltimore. The Birds keep their infield nice and smooth for Brooks Robinson and company. It's the only crew with a women's lib crasher, 14-year-old Linda Wareheim. How can you knock it? Emmett Ashford waited a long time to break into a World Series. Baseball was never like this. But dignity, like cream, will always rise to the top. But on with the Brooks Robinson Show. Even in slow motion, Johnny Bench's drive is still a blur. Robinson with a 4-point landing, letting the world know he has it. In the 6th, with 1 out, Paul Blair launches another big Oriole inning. And that's all for Tony Cloninger. In comes Wayne Granger, traveling first class. And Brooks Robinson finds the open spaces. Rocking one off the wall for a double. The book calls for an intentional walk to fill the bases and get at the two low men in the Oriole lineup. But after Echeverrin fans for the second out, McNally works the count to 2-2. A year ago, McNally hit a World Series home run against the Mets' Jerry Koosman. And now, another deep drive. And it's a grand slam home run. The first by a pitcher in 67 years of World Series happening. The Orioles go on to win 9-3. They are now a game away from a sweep. Is Dave McNally happy? On the field before Game 4, famed sports artist Leroy Neiman puts his brush to work with on-the-spot live sketches of the athletes. Meanwhile, the big red machine is on the edge of disaster, and Johnny Bench can't get Brooks Robinson out of his mind.
Brooks just made some plays that I didn't think were quite possible by anybody else, and of course I heard a lot of things about Brooks, and he just had so fantastic reflexes that he was able to dive for the ball. Actually, the ball looked like it was by him, and he dove for the ball and came up with it.
The old Professor Casey Stengel does the pregame honors, flanked by American League President Joe Cronin, Commissioner Bowie Kuhn, and Baltimore's head man, Jerry Hoffberger. And once more for the West Coast. Jim Palmer goes for the sweep. And Bench lifts a foul pop that seems out of play. Now look at 250 pounds of agility. The play by Powell closes out the Reds first. But in a second, Venezuela's newest shortstop find, Dave Concepcion, splits right center with a triple, bringing in Lee May. If the Reds see time running out in 1970, they also see a star rising at short. Cincinnati on top again. Second-time starter Gary Nolan delivers to Brooks Robinson. And boom, it's a 1-1 ball game. The lamp black under Robinson's eyes seemed to drip with emotion. And this pilot times his run just right. In the Cincinnati third after Tolan walked, Rose weighs in with a single to right center. Palmer, respectful of the speed on the bases, checks the runners. Mark Belanger makes a lunging grab. There's no play, and Bobby Tolan scores. The Reds lead 2-1. But it's the Birds' turn to strike back. Palmer's on second, Powell at first, Frank Robinson. On the hit, Palmer is waved around by on-deck Brooks Robinson. The throw is off the mark, and it's all tied up. Brooks Robinson comes up. And this hit has the umpire jumping. Watch it, Emmett. Powell rounds third as Tolan fumbles, and the runners move up. Baltimore leads 3-2. The Reds bring in their hard-throwing young left-hander Don Gullett to pitch to Ellie Hendricks. Hendricks bounces one through. Frank Robinson scoring. Now Brooks goes to the plate, but a good throw by Pete Rose cuts him down. So it's 4-2 Baltimore, with a Red Rose batting in the fifth. Pete checks his swing. The count is full. And Rose gives it a ride. His first homer of the series, hitting the bullpen roof. Rose doesn't get many, but he runs them out, the fastest home run hitter in the game. The Oriole lead is trimmed to 4-3. Now it's the 6th. And here's that man again. Baltimore's greatest discovery since crab cakes. And don't those fans know it. Look at that standing ovation. In this game, Brooks has a homer and a single off Nolan. Now he makes it 3 for 3 against Gullett. Sometimes, as they say, a ball has eyes. And this one by Hendricks squirts through the right side. The throw by Rose takes a high hop over the head of third baseman Tony Perez. Brooks Robinson is waved in. Hendricks takes third. The Orioles lead 5-3. To the 7th, Pete Rose bounces one to first base and claims foul off his foot, like you remember Nippy Jones and Cleon Jones, but Rose is ruled out. Despite the frustration, the Reds don't quit. It's the top of the 8th, time running out. After Perez walks, Bench puts the wood on the ball, and the machine has something going. That's all for Palmer, who's tiring. Weaver gives the ball to Eddie Watt. Now Lee May with the tying runs aboard. And all he asks is what's with Watt. One pitch, one swish of the bat, and Lee May turns it around. Lee May, the free swinger. He goes for the first pitch he can reach, and if he hits it right, it's gone. For once, the big red machine has wiped out a Baltimore lead. Now it's up to Clay Carroll, who protects that lead into the 9th. 2 out, 3-2 in the pinch hitter, Marv Rettenmund. This should do it. The umpire's initial call ends the game. But the ball squirted loose. An error charged on the throw, and Baltimore is still alive. Series games have been lost on less than that, but Carroll won't let it happen. The batter is Don Buford. Carroll reaches back for something extra, and it's all over. Cincinnati breaks the spell. They win 6-5 and trail 3-1. The morning of Game 5 comes up wet. The Reds with a riddled pitching staff could use the day off. It's the commissioner's decision to make, and armed with weather reports, he says play ball. That means the magic mitt of Brooks Robinson, destined for a place of honor in baseball's Hall of Fame, must be lathered for another workout, and the fans sound off.
The most fabulous baseball player I've ever seen.
Fantastic. Does it every summer. I get here in May and I watch him right through to September. Been doing it for 12 years. This is the first time I've been up here, first time I've seen him play, and I think it's fantastic.
He's the greatest.
It's only one thing that they didn't say, that Brooks Robinson belonged in heaven, not here on the ground, because the way he plays third, I've never seen nothing like it.
Mike Cuellar, knocked out in less than 3 innings of his first series game, is off to another shaky start. Pete Rose drops one into right field. In on his nose, just to make sure, is Rose.
Number 5, Johnny Bench.
They're 2 down when Johnny Bench singles to right. Rose scores. The 4th time in 5 games that Cincinnati breaks on top. Lee May. His last swing was a game buster. And this one caroms off the wall for 2 bases. Johnny Bench pulls up at third. So there are 2 runners asking for Hal McRae to pick them up. And he does. Another double. Bench comes in. And now May. Cincinnati leads 3-0. And Mike Cuellar's famed screwball just isn't behaving. But the Reds unveil sore-armed Jim Merritt, their big winner. And he gives up his first hit to Paul Blair. A drive well played by McRae, but it's trapped. Frank Robinson jockeys the count to 3-2 before he gets his pitch. And quickly, the Birds answer back. Robinson, the only player ever picked as most valuable player in both leagues, still lets his bat do the talking. In the second, Baltimore presses the attack on Merritt. Johnson is on with a walk when Echeverria rips a single up the middle. Runners on first and second. Out of the dugout, manager Sparky Anderson.
Badger, I know you feel fine, and I know...
I'm not sorry, Sparky, really.
Oh, I know that. I know that, Badger, but I'm going to have to make a decision, and I'm going to make it like I always make.
Well?
And I know you feel good, and I appreciate you going out here today. Believe me. But I know this. For you to stay out here over 4 or 5 innings a day, it ain't going to do you no good. I appreciate you going there.
Oh, it's just been 11 days. I think I can get it together, you know.
I know that, Jimmy. Don't think I don't know. He didn't have nothing, did he, John?
Want me to play the Jain or...
Number 37.
Okay, I don't think he would bunt, but let's play him.
Yeah,
He won't. He shouldn't pull the ball that much on him anyway over there. So let's play him a little tight. Wayne, you got 2 out, first and second. Go get him. Let's go hard.
Wayne Granger gets the call. And with 2 out, he duels Mark Belanger, hitless in his last 12 tries. But 13 doesn't come up. The single brings Johnson home on his face. Paul Blair comes up with a score tied. And he punches another hit through. This time, Echeverria beats the throw, and the Orioles lead 4-3. And doomsday is written all over Johnny Bench's face. In the third, the Orioles continue the shelling. Boog Powell leading off. Merv Rettenman in the starting lineup for the first time. Single. Tolan goes for Powell at the plate. But it's another run for the Orioles. Ahead by 2, nobody out, Redmond on second. Brooks Robinson makes the professional play, hitting behind the runner, an art that doesn't show in the box score. The coup de grace for Granger is delivered by Dave Johnson. Redmond scores through the drawn-in infield, and it's Baltimore 6-3.
Bill Wilcox. All right, Wayne. Poor Wayne. I don't understand. Everything he's thrown up there, they've kissed. Every ball they hit's a base hit. High bounces through there, ordinary ground balls through.
Put the whole outfield on that thin field and still get through somewhere.
I never seen nothing like it. Milt, you got 1 out. You got a man on first base and 1 out. Go hard.
Young Milt Wilcox, in relief of Granger, holds the Birds the hard way. Frank Robinson smashed ricochets to Perez for the putout. Cincinnati's 4th pitcher is Tony Cloninger, starting the 5th. Second man he faces is Redmond, and Merv's drive stays fair, curling just inside the right field foul pole. Earl Weaver keeps pushing the right button, and the Baltimore lead goes to 7-3. In Cincinnati's next turn, Tony Perez hangs 1 out. But here Belanger shows a real streak of larceny. And over the last 5 innings, Mike Cuellar hasn't given up a hit. In the 7th, 2 men on, the pinch hitter is Bernie Carbo. And Mike Cuellar starts his own double play. Against Ray Washburn in the 8th inning, the Orioles make sure. Boog Powell comes up with Blair at second, Robinson at first. The bouncer skips off Lee May's glove. Tommy Helms gives it a try. And Paul Blair scores all the way from second. The desperate Reds come in with Clay Carroll. Dave Johnson's third hit streaks up the middle. And Frank Robinson registers the Birds' 9th and final run. But don't go away. There is one more memorable moment before the curtain comes down. Johnny Bench leads off the 9th. And again, Brooks Robinson jams up the machine. Fair or foul, Houdini at the hot sack does his thing. For Mike Cuellar, after a rough start, the series comes down to one more out. The pinch hitter is Pat Corrali. And poetic justice directs this routine grounder to the right man. Sweet bird of ecstasy. The year-long run for redemption is over. The Orioles, in the role of beaten favorites, come roaring back. And Brooks Robinson, held to one hit in the World Series of 1969, hits the jackpot in 70. One year, the taste of ashes, now the taste of champagne.